Comrade, are you a thought criminal? Yes, you, sitting there. You are capable of it, you know. But you say, how could this be? You say you love the party, that you worship Big Brother. How can you be a thought criminal? I'll tell you how, comrades. There are agents of Goldstein everywhere. They are lurking, waiting to poison your minds. But there is one way to stop them. To make yourself immune to their lies and treasons. And that way, comrades, is by using Crime Stop. Crime Stop is political good thinking. Practice Crime Stop and you can never be guilty of thought crime. But these agents of Goldstein's who are trying to destroy our new happy life, what of them? Well, they can be the one who works next to you. Perhaps even the one sitting next to you.
6079 Smith W. Get up! Remain
Conrad
standing
Winston
where you
Smith.
are.
Face the door.
6079
No
Smith.
movement.
6079
Smith.
Hands out of pockets of themselves. No hands in pockets.
How did it begin?
I don't know.
How did it begin?
What do you want to know?
How it began.
I had a book.
You had 2 books. You must be precise.
I must be precise. I had 2 books. I met a woman.
You plotted treason with a woman. You must be
Why don't you
precise.
shoot me and get it over with?
In time. First, tell us how it began.
You already know.
Yes.
You have my diary.
Tell us.
I can't remember.
That's what you do remember.
Be precise.
I don't
Tell
know
us
when.
about the first time you saw the woman.
The first time you remember seeing her
I
then.
didn't know her name.
Tell us about the first time you remember seeing the woman.
Be precise.
I was in the Ministry of Truth. We were all facing the telescreen for the 2 minutes of hate. I don't know why she was there. To spy on me, I thought. Then the face flashed onto the screen.
What face?
You know what face.
Friends, countrymen of Oceania, I, Emmanuel Goldstein, stand here as your ex-leader and still your friend. I am no traitor. I was once one of the leaders of your revolution. Today I'm in hiding, sometimes in exile, but eternally working for your liberation. Big Brother is false to you. He has usurped power. He is a bloody, ruthless tyrant. He talks of a new, happy life while he starves your bodies and denies your souls. Remember the past. Cast off your chains. Free yourselves. Down with Big Brother. Down with Big Brother.
How did you feel?
I don't know. Sick. Seeing his face, hearing that strained voice say the same old things, it made me sick.
The revolution has been betrayed. The people must share in the wealth of the state. Food, housing, and peace.
And then I saw her, yelling louder than anyone.
Go to hell!
I thought she was going to tear the telescreen off the wall.
What happened then?
Then Goldstein's face was replaced with an East Asian soldier. Machine guns, bombs dropping, burned children. And then it was all gone and replaced with Big Brother.
Citizens of Oceania, do not fear. Together, we will defeat East Asia and crush the terrorist Goldstein and his traitorous followers who would undermine our homeland. Soon, our enemies will be destroyed, and Oceania's long road to victory will be over. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength.
That was the first time I remember seeing her.
Tell us about the book.
I bought a diary. I found it in a junk shop, just an empty old book.
When the clock struck 13, I shut off my speak right, locked my cubicle, and left the Ministry of Truth by 13:05. I walked home. Avoiding Victory Square and the crowds getting ready for Hate Week. I walked up the stairs and entered my flat, keeping my back to the telescreen. I did it because I thought it would be safer. You can't tell when they're watching you, and I wasn't sure if I had the right face on. I go to the kitchen. I pour myself a glass of Victory gin. I drink it. I go to the desk. My desk is in the corner. There's a small indentation. My desk is there because the telescreen can't see me there. I open the drawer. I take out the diary. I take out a pen and begin to write. Last night at the movies, all war films, audience amused by shots of a fat man trying to swim away with a helicopter after him, saw him through the gun sights that he was full of holes. They'll shoot me too. They'll shoot me in the back of the neck. They always shoot you in the back of the neck. Thought police. I was still as a mouse, hoping they'll go away. The telescreen interrupts with an important announcement.
Attention! Your attention, please. A newsflash from the Malabar front. Our heroic forces in South India have smashed the East Asian forces and won a glorious victory. And in celebration of our sweeping triumph, Big Brother has ordered that the week's chocolate ration will be increased from 5 to 7 ounces per person.
Had been 10 ounces.
No. Chocolate rations were raised that week.
They were raised from 5 to 7 ounces.
No, It had always been 5 ounces.
And it was raised to 7 after the Battle of Malabar.
But you don't remember it that way, do you, 6079 Smith?
Yes, I do.
You wrote, reality cannot be a thought crime.
You wrote, freedom is the freedom to say that 2 plus 2 make 4.
You wrote, if that is granted, all else follows.
You wrote, down with Big Brother.
Wait!
Down with Big Brother!
Down
Down
with
with
Big
Big Brother!
Brother.
Down with Big
Down
Brother!
with
Down
Big
with Big
Brother.
Brother!
Down with Big Brother.
No!
Don't you want to say no again? We'll take that as a yes.
No.
You filled half the page.
I just wanted to...
It's all right. It's better to have the crime out in the open than have it festering in your mind, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you.
Say it. Say it.
Say it.
Say it.
Say it.
Say it.
Say
Say
it.
it.
Say it.
Down
Say
with
it.
Big
Say
Brother!
it. Say it.
Is that when you began planning your crimes? Your
No.
treason? You spying? The
No.
sabotage? The assassinations?
Yes, I had...
What?
I had a dream that night. I was 10 or 11 years old. I'm with my parents. My mother is... She's tall, like a building holding my little hand. And my father, he's there, complaining about the thin soles of his shoes. Suddenly, my father is gone, and my mother is sitting in some place deep down beneath me, with my little sister in her arms. They're looking up at me, down in some... from the bottom of a well or deep grave, but sinking further and further away, moving downwards. There in the belly of a glass ship, looking up at me through the water. they're sinking down out of my sight forever. I am out in the light and air while they are being sucked down to death. And they are down there because I am up here. The next thing I know, it's a summer evening. I forget about my mother, my sister, father, and I'm standing in a pasture with a footpath wandering across it. Somewhere out of sight is a slow-moving stream under willow trees. It was a place with no darkness. It's a golden country. Then came the girl, a girl with dark hair. She comes across the field toward me. She unbuttons her collar, and then with a single movement tears off her clothes and flings them aside. I'm overwhelmed. With that one gesture, she annihilates a whole culture, as though Big Brother and the government and the thought police, it's all swept into nothingness by a single splendid movement of her arm. The next time I saw the woman was in the parole district.
I was tired of just working, eating, sleeping. I had to think.
Why were you there?
To be alone.
So you went to the parole district?
Wandered through gray-colored slums.
Puddles of filthy water.
Streets of little two-story houses with doors like rat holes.
You've never been to the parole districts?
Why would he?
Sounds terrible.
To see what people really live like.
They're not people. They're proles.
Of course. But anything has to be better than the stare of the telescreen.
So many in the parole sections are there?
Why is that?
They're animals. Who cares what they do?
But you don't believe that. View 607.
I was walking down a side street.
Tell us about the
And I
girl.
heard something.
When did you next see her?
Footsteps.
Quick footsteps behind you.
I was walking along a side street, and I heard something. Footsteps. Quick footsteps behind me. When I stop, they stop. Then I see in a reflection of a window. On the other side of the street. It was her. She was following me. She was following me. There's a dark little doorway. I duck inside. An antique shop. An old woman. Her name? You have it. It's in the book. Her name. Charrington.
Is there anything special I can do for you, or do you just want to look around?
No, just looking.
Between you and me, the antique trade is about finished. Furniture, china, glass, it's all been broken up. I haven't seen a brass candlestick in years.
Actually, the shop was uncomfortably full. Dusty picture frames, pen knives with broken blades, watches that didn't even pretend to work. And on a small table in the corner, something strangely soft-colored, as if made of rainwater. A heavy lump of glass, curved on one side, flat on the other. At its heart, magnified by the curved surface, there was a strange, pink, convoluted...
That's coral, that is.
It recalled a rose or a sea anemone.
It must have come from the Indian Ocean. Wasn't made less than 100 years ago. More by the look of it.
It's beautiful.
It is a beautiful thing, and if you want to buy it...
Yes.
What else? I remember what a thing like that fetched 20, but who cares about genuine antiques nowadays? Even the few that's left.
It was beautiful, like a piece of the world, the real world, untouched by Big Brother, held safe.
There's another room upstairs if you're interested. much in it, just a few pieces. I lived there till my husband died. There's a nice bed. At least it would be if you could get the bugs out of it.
There's no telescreen.
But they never got around to it, I suppose. No, that's a nice table in the corner there.
That picture on the wall.
The frame is screwed to the wall, but I could remove it if you're interested.
I recognize that building. It's a ruin across from the Ministry of Peace.
That's right. It was bombed in many years ago. It used to be a church.
How old is it?
Hard to tell. Everything's been changed.
Everything has been changed.
Buildings, street names. You'd think nothing happened before Big Brother.
Perhaps I'll come back and look at that picture.
Well, I'm not always open, but I'm always here.
I exit the shop, and I see her. She was standing across the street, waiting for me.
She looks you right in the face.
Then turns like she hasn't seen you.
She was spying on me.
She is.
I didn't know if she was the thought police or just some amateur. It didn't matter.
She follows you through the streets.
Not running, just moving.
Turning once,
is
turning
around.
twice.
I wished for the earlier crowds.
But it's too late. Too cold.
I turned another corner.
Down a blind alley.
And another. You duck into a doorway. Dead end.
I need a weapon.
In your pocket.
You raise the paperweight?
I had to do it.
No way out. But no one's there.
Attention citizens! Here are the latest production numbers from the Ministry of Plenty. Shoe production up 20%. Children's coats up 57%. Beef and milk production at all-time highs. Overall, Oceania's standard of living is up 42% over the last year.
When did you see her again?
I thought she was the thought police. I had to kill her before she turned me in.
You planned to murder her?
I didn't know what to do.
When did you see her again?
It was later. Days later.
You must be precise.
You must be precise. I can't remember exactly when. I can't remember.
You wrote it was 4 days since I had run into her in the junk shop.
What were you doing?
I was working in the Ministry of Truth, rectifying news articles.
Rectifying?
Making past articles correspond with later events. Fixing the past.
Fixing the past?
Is everything a lie for you, Smith?
It's my job. You want me to tell the truth, don't you? Isn't that what I'm supposed to confess? The truth?
Of course, but you are insane. You do not know the truth.
I do what Big Brother tells me. Rewrite newspapers, re-edit videos and books, create history and heroes.
He who controls the present controls the past, and he who controls the past controls the future.
Past? It's just paper. Cut it this way, Julius Caesar as a hero. Cut it that way, a villain. Cut it again, and he never existed.
The only corrections made were to defeatist propaganda that you created.
No!
That you created! That you!
Yes! That I created, yes!
What happened when you saw the woman again?
We were standing in front of a telescreen when it happened. She slipped a piece of paper into my hand. There were two possibilities. One, she was the thought police. But there was another, wild impossibility. The message was from some kind of underground organization. The Brotherhood. I put it in the stack of papers I'd been assigned.
Times August 19th.
The telescreen hadn't
Change
noticed.
Big Brother prediction to East Asian offensive.
Rectify. Replace African front with Indian front.
Slowly, I worked my way to her note.
Big Brother misquote. Rectify. Change the warning of decrease due to aid station and Goldstein terrorists.
What did it say?
It said, I love you. I had a dream that night.
Another dream? This is not relevant.
We will decide what is relevant. Thought crime in dreams is more dangerous than one waking. The wake, a disciplined criminal can control himself, but asleep, even the most zealous relax. Only when the subconscious submits will thought crime truly be defeated. Continue with your dream, 6079, Smith.
There was an air raid. I'm in a noisy, crowded place. A crowded subway station. An old man and woman are sitting side by side on the floor. The old man breathes sadness out of his skin, and the tears welling from his eyes are pure gin. He says,
We shouldn't have trusted those bastards. I said so, Mom, didn't I?
and then, in the dark of the subway, this light, like a train coming, begins to glow in one of the tunnels. But I'm the only one who sees it. It's washing up the walls, slashing through the air. How could no one see it? It rains down on us, soft. And when it touches me, my heart bursts.
The next time you saw her.
It was later, days later.
You must be precise.
I must be precise. I don't know. A week, a month, it felt like years before I saw her again.
Be precise.
Must be.
It was the Thursday before Hate Week.
You left the ministry at 17 o'clock.
You go to the cafeteria for dinner.
Smith, just the man I was looking for.
It was my friend Sim.
I wanted to ask you whether you got any extra razor blades.
No, I tried all over the place. They don't exist anymore. I had 2 unused ones.
I've been using the same blade for 6 weeks.
How is the new dictionary coming?
I'm glad you asked. The 11th edition is the definitive one. We are finally getting the language into shape. What do you think the hardest part is, Smith?
I don't know.
In precision of language.
So, new words will clear things up.
That's what everybody thinks. Making words is easy. Destroying words, that's the challenge. Getting rid of redundancy, vagueness, fewer words, greater precision, and so we get rid of confused thought, confused actions, confused people. For example, if you have a word like good, why say bad? Ungood will do just as well.
Better.
Do you know why?
Because it's an exact opposite.
Exactly. And if you want a stronger version of good, why have a whole string of vague, useless words like excellent or splendid and all the rest of them? Plus good covers the meaning.
Or double plus good.
Yes, and not only will we make language precise, we will make citizens more precise.
Extra double plus good.
The whole aim of newspeak is to narrow the range of thought. In the end, we'll make thought crime impossible, because there'll be no words to express it. Every year, fewer and fewer words are always, in the range of consciousness is always a little smaller. Has it ever occurred to you, Winston, that in the future, not a single human being will be able to understand the conversation that we are having now?
It hadn't occurred to me.
Attention, citizens! Glorious news! We have won the battle for production. Recent reports show that the standard of living of Oceania has risen by no less than 20% over the past year. This morning, workers marched out of factories and offices and paraded through the streets. They're voicing their gratitude to Big Brother for the new, happy life which his wise leadership has bestowed upon us.
You went to Victory Square after work.
Are you sure you went straight there?
Sure you didn't have some dream first?
It was crowded. There were trucks.
Army trucks.
Filled with East Asian prisoners about to be shot. It was almost hate week. That's when I saw her, shouting the loudest.
Go to hell, you murderous pigs!
Did you still think she was thought police?
No. It didn't matter. There were telescreens all over the square. She was facing the street. All the trucks passed. Little yellow men, shabby uniforms.
Her shoulder, her arm pressed against you.
You move up beside her.
They stared at us over the side of the truck.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you get Saturday afternoon off?
Yes.
Then listen to me carefully. You're going to have to remember this. Go to the train station. It's a half-hour train ride. Turn left outside of the station, 2 miles along the road, a gate with the top bar missing, a path across a field, a grass-grown lane, a track between the bushes, a dead tree with moss on it.
What time?
15. You may have to wait. I'll get there by another way. Are you sure you remember everything?
Yes.
Get away from me as quickly as you can.
Making sure no one is following you.
You come to a footpath.
A cattle track. Between the bushes.
The flowers. The flowers were so thick it was impossible not to step on them. I picked some. I had this vague idea I should have flowers for her.
You heard a sound.
You see her.
She shook her head.
She leads you along the narrow path, deeper into the woods.
Follow.
With your bunch of flowers.
You follow her into a natural clearing.
Surrounded by saplings tall and too thin to hide microphones.
And I realized I dropped the flowers.
There's no hurry. We've got the whole afternoon.
What's your name?
Julia. I know yours. It's Winston. Winston Smith.
How did you find out?
What did you think of me that day before I gave you the note? Go on.
I hated the sight of you. I wanted to murder you. That night in the Pearl District, I thought seriously of smashing your head in with a piece of coral.
Coral? Well, that's imaginative. Not particularly deadly, though.
It's embedded in a heavy chunk of glass. I thought you were the thought police.
No shit!
I loved that she swore.
What the fuck made you think I was one of those bastards?
She swore a lot. You were following me around. I thought...
That I was a good party member. Pure in word and deed.
Something like that?
Always shout with the crowd, that's what I say. Only way to stay safe.
Am I safe?
No. But as soon as I saw you, I knew you were against those bastards.
Is there a stream somewhere near here?
How did you know that?
There'll be fish in it. Great big ones. Swimming in a pool under the willow tree. It's the Golden Country. Almost.
The Golden Country?
A place I've seen in my dreams. A place where there is no darkness. A bluebird landed on a branch not 5 yards away, almost at the level of our faces. It spread its wings, ducked its head, and began to pour forth a torrent of song. The sound was startling. We kissed. Her waist in the bend of my arm was soft and warm.
Her body seemed to melt into mine. Wherever my hands moved, she was as yielding as water. Our mouths clung together. We were both breathing fast. Then, almost as swiftly as I had dreamt, she tore off her clothes and flung them aside, annihilating a whole civilization.
Shut him up! Why aren't you stopping
his
him?
illness, his thought crime. This deviant behavior is.
We never went back to the clearing in the woods. Too dangerous. There were other places. A dry riverbed. A church.
How long did this continue?
Not long. I wanted to find some place where we could be alone together. We rented the room above the antique shop.
Weren't you worried the shopkeeper might turn you in?
Why would she?
Because she's a law-abiding citizen?
Yes, of course.
Look what I've got.
Sugar?
Real sugar, not saccharin. And look, real bread, not sawdust. And a jar of jam. And a bottle of milk.
How?
The inner party. There's nothing they don't have.
We had a big bed, soft and smooth. I hadn't been in a real bed since I was a child.
Oh! A rat! Get out of here!
A rat in here?
Oh, yeah. They're all over the place. We've even got them swarming at the kitchen and the hostel. Did you know they attack children? The big brown ones
Stop!
are always...
No! I'm sorry. After my mother died, I was looking through a ruin for food, clothes, and the ground cracked and swallowed me. It was dark. But something soft broke my fall. I wasn't hurt. I'd seen bodies before, no problem. It looked like she'd been gone a week and a half. Legs crushed under the concrete. I stood up and began to look for a way out, but something brushed against my foot. Something moved. She moved. I didn't know what to do. I started to lift her up, and something warm brushed against my hand. I lifted up her coat. The rats had made a home of her, sliding in and out the holes they'd gnawed. I still dream about it.
Well, don't worry about that. I'll stuff the hole before we go.
How often did you go back to the flat?
At first you're careful. Once, twice a month, but it started to feel too normal to be there, that was real life, and this was all some nightmare.
Tell us about the book.
There were 2 books. You must be precise.
Tell us about Goldstein's book.
What about it?
Where did you get it?
From a friend.
Who?
You already know.
You have to say it. Otherwise, your confession is meaningless.
O'Brien.
Good.
O'Brien, I was reading one of your Newspeak articles in the Times the other day. You take a scholarly interest in Newspeak, I believe.
How many years had you known him?
I'd known O'Brien for a few years, if it's possible to know anyone nowadays.
How many years had you known him?
I don't know.
You must be precise.
I don't know. Years and years. He was an upper party member. Very important in the government, but I always felt that there was something different about O'Brien. I always felt that there was some code passing between us. A code that I didn't understand.
Ah, Winston. Have you seen the 10th edition of the Newspeak Dictionary?
No. We're still using the 9th in the records department.
Ah, well, it's not due to come out for a few months. I have an advanced copy. Perhaps you'd like to see it. The new developments are quite ingenious. The reduction in the number of verbs. That in particular might interest you, I think.
He stopped and adjusted his glasses.
I could send it over to you, but I inevitably forget that sort of thing. What are we going to do?
This was it.
How about you come over to my flat and I give it to you there? Let me give you my address.
We were standing right in front of a telescreen when it happened. He was giving it to me right in front of a telescreen.
I'm usually at home in the evenings.
Attention citizens! News from the front! The forces of Oceania have swept to a crushing victory in the Libyan desert. Our brave men and women have smashed the East Asian armies, which are now retreating throughout Africa. And not to be outdone by our heroic soldiers overseas, here at home, Big Brother, aided by the junior spies, uncovered a massive conspiracy of saboteurs and agents of Goldstein. With the arrest of these terrorists, the Brotherhood will soon be smashed, and a final victory over Goldsteinism will be assured.
How can you trust O'Brien?
He's one of us.
No, there are only two of us, you and me. You want to get us killed?
I want to be part of the movement.
There is no goddamn movement. That is all up in your head. This, right here, this is the only revolution we are ever going to get.
How can you believe that?
I know these bastards. Better than you could. It's all a show. The war, the Brotherhood, Goldstein, all a show.
There has to be some truth in the world.
You don't even know if the war is really happening.
What?
The telescreens lie. You said it yourself. For all we know, Big Brother could be dropping bombs on us. Oh, and the invincible Goldstein. Always about to be caught. Always about to be crushed, but never quite overcome.
Goldstein exists. That much I'm sure of. Look, I just have a feeling about O'Brien.
Is that the same feeling that told you I was in the thought police?
Julia, I will never betray you.
Everyone confesses. They can make you say anything they want.
Not confession. Betrayal. They can't make me stop loving you. That would be real betrayal. I will never betray you, and I will never stop loving you.
When did you go see O'Brien?
About a month after he gave me his address. Me, Julie, and I went to his apartment.
What did you talk about?
I can't remember.
6079 Smith, you will tell us the whole truth.
Well, I can tell you, the first thing he did was turn off the telescreen.
You can turn it off?
Yes, I have that privilege.
Is that thing really turned off?
Yes. We are alone.
We came here because we believe that there is a secret underground organization working against the government.
I see. I've been watching you for some time now, looking for evidence of loyalty to our leader, Emmanuel Goldstein.
Goldstein?
Yes. Now, we must hurry. It's suspicious even for inter-party members to have their telescreens off for too long. Answer me quickly and honestly. What are you willing to do?
Anything we're capable of.
You prepared to give your lives?
Yes.
To commit murder?
Yes.
To commit acts of sabotage, possibly killing thousands of innocent people?
Yes.
To lie?
Yes.
Cheat?
Yes.
Steal?
Yes.
Blackmail?
Yes.
Forge?
Yes.
To do everything to weaken and demoralize the state?
Yes.
To commit suicide if and when we tell you to? Are you, the two of you, willing to separate and never see each other again?
No!
What did you say?
No.
You'll fight in the dark. You'll receive orders and obey them. When you're finally caught, which is inevitable, you will be able to confess very little and have very few people to betray. You won't even be able to betray me, because by that time I will most likely be dead. The Brotherhood operates as independent cells. Nothing binds us except an indestructible idea. You'll have nothing to sustain you except that idea. No comradeship, no encouragement, no hope of survival. There's no chance that any change will come within our lifetimes. When change does come, we shall participate as handfuls of dust and shards of bone. We are the dead. Our true lives are in the future. Now I must leave. Tell me, do you carry a briefcase into work with you?
Yes.
What's it like?
Black, very shabby, with 2 straps.
Someday soon, you will find among your morning's work a message with a misprint, and you'll have to ask for a repeat. The next day, go into work without your briefcase. A woman will approach you and touch you on the shoulder, saying, "I think you dropped your briefcase." Inside, you will find the book. Goldstein's book.
Will we be seeing you again?
Most likely not. If we do, it shall be
in the place where there is no darkness.
Yes. Quite.
When did you receive the book?
A few days later. The misspelled word was abomination. The next day I was waiting for a bus, a brief exchange, and I had it.
Who gave it to you?
I don't know.
What was her name? What did she look
It
like?
was so fast.
You can't protect her.
I'm not trying to.
Go on.
I go to the flat, hours before Julia will be there.
You open the window.
Sit down in the armchair and undo the straps of your briefcase.
The inscription on the title page says, "The Theory and Practice of Oligarchical Collectivism by Emmanuel Goldstein. Chapter 1. Ignorance is Strength." Throughout recorded time, and probably since the end of the Neolithic Age, there have been 3 kinds of people in the world: the high, the middle, and the low. The aims of these 3 groups are entirely irreconcilable.
I didn't start at the beginning.
Why?
I didn't feel like it.
Where did you start?
Chapter 3. War is Peace. At the turn of the 20th century. I've got the book.
Look what I brought. Coffee. Inner party coffee.
I've got the book right here. Goldstein's book.
I heard you.
Listen to this. Even the humblest, most industrious citizen is expected to be an ignorant fanatic whose prevailing moods are fear, hatred, adulation, and triumph. In other words, the mentality appropriate to a state of war. And being at war, and therefore in danger, makes it the handing over of all power to a small caste seem the natural, unavoidable condition of survival.
This is news to you?
And any thoughts which might lead to rebellious attitude are killed in advance by acquired self-censorship. It's all there, you see? Not the what, but the why.
The what?
The why. We are cut off from reality, like spacemen floating, not knowing up from down.
Do you want some coffee or not?
Big Brother tells us to fight for freedom abroad, but at home, freedom is slavery.
Please go on. It's marvelous, really.
Big Brother knows everything, but for citizens, ignorance is strength.
You're making this up.
You should read it.
You read it aloud.
Doublethink is the power to hold 2 contradictory beliefs in one's mind simultaneously and accept both of them, to forget any fact that has become inconvenient, tell deliberate lies, and then draw the truth back from oblivion just so long as it's needed. All this is necessary to safeguard the infallibility of the party. Julia. That night, I had another dream. We were sleeping in a field, a small clearing, only the trees were so tall the leaves and branches were as high as clouds above us. and the trunks were as thin as fingers, and we could see to the horizon all around us, and there was no darkness. It was the Golden Country. I woke up to the sound of singing. A prole woman down in the courtyard, singing and hanging diapers to dry. Dozens of them. I wondered whether she took in washing for a living or was merely the slave of 20 or 30 grandchildren.
It was only a hopeless fancy. It passed like an April day. But a look and a word and the dreams they stirred, they have stolen my heart away.
How many children do you think she has? 5?
15 more like.
Look at that sky. Strange to think that it's the same sky for everyone. Eurasia, East Asia, here. But everywhere sings that same woman.
Hope it's not the same damn song.
She'll give birth to a race of conscious beings. It's like O'Brien said. By the time there's a revolution, we'll be handfuls of dust. But she'll still be here.
Singing that same song.
We are the dead.
You are the dead. Remain exactly where you are. Make no movement until you are ordered.
Oh, they can see us!
Now we can see you. Stand out in the middle of the room. Clasp your hands behind your heads. Do not touch one another.
A policeman crushes the paperweight under his boot.
See how small that fragment of coral really was.
A policeman punches Julia in the stomach.
The policeman punches me.
A policeman hoists Julia like a sack.
He was the shopkeeper.
Pick up those pieces.
I was unconscious when they brought me in.
For how long?
I don't know. Days, weeks, months.
Not that long. Do you know where you are?
The Ministry of Love. Where's Julia?
Continue with your story.
Where's Julia?
Continue with your story.
You've seen everything that's happened since I've been here. I was put into a cell with other prisoners, common criminals mostly. They were shouting and stealing food, swearing, yelling down the telescreen.
Did you know any of the prisoners?
You know I did. Sim.
Ah, Smith! They got you too?
How long have you been here? His face was like a skull, the drawn mouth, the large eyes. He was dying of starvation. What are you in for?
We were producing a definitive newspeak edition of Rudyard Kipling. I allowed the word God to remain at the end of the line. I could not help it. It was impossible to change the line. The rhyme was rod. Do you realize that there are only 12 rhymes to God in the entire language? Clod, nod, arthropod. None of them made sense. Has it ever occurred to you that the history of our poetry is determined by the fact that that the English language lacks rhymes?
Quiet. The telescreen told us to be quiet. Another man was brought in, commonplace enough, but when he saw Sim, he looked at Sim with a sort of guiltiness, a sly sideways glance. Slowly, he reached into his pocket and gently handed him a crust of bread.
Sim 2713, Sim J, let fall that piece of bread. Remain where you are. Face the door. Make no movement. Guard, room 101.
What else do you want to know? no. Just tell me what you want to know, and I'll confess it straight off. I'll write it down. I'll sign anything. Wait! Is there someone else you want me to give away? Wait, officer, citizen, please. Hang me. No, shoot me. No. I have a wife. I have a wife and 3 children. The biggest isn't even 6 years old. And, yeah, cut their throats, and I'll stand by and watch.
Room 101.
He's the one you ought to be taking, not me. You didn't hear him. I'll confess every single word that he said to me. He's the one you want, not me.
Room 101.
No. He's the one. You didn't hear what he said. Something went wrong with the telescreen. He's the one you want. Take him, not me.
Room 101.
O'Brien, they got you too?
Oh, Winston. They got me a long time ago. No, don't deceive yourself, Winston. You've known. You've always known. And now we shall speak face to face again. Where shall it be? Ah, yes. Where there is no darkness. Are they going to kill me? Would you like them to?
Yes. Yes. No. Often. Yes. A sexual pervert. Yes. Wait, no. Yes. A spy in the pay of the East Asian government. Yes. Not room 101. Yes. No. I communicated with Goldstein, distributed seditious pamphlets, gave away military secrets. Yes.
Don't worry, Winston. You're in my care now. I will save you. You believe that, don't you?
I've told you everything. I've been precise. What else is there?
There is always more. That was 40. The numbers on this dial go up to 100. Speak any lies, and you will cry out in pain instantly. I'm taking this trouble with you because you are worth the trouble. But you are mentally deranged, and instead of curing yourself, you cling to your disease like a virtue. For example, who is Oceania at war with?
Oceania is at war with East Asia.
But you don't believe that, do you, Winston?
Yes, I do.
Tell me the truth, Winston, please. Your truth. Tell us what you think you remember.
I remember. It wasn't a month before I was brought here that we weren't at war with East Asia. The war was against Eurasia.
One of your dreams.
Not a dream. It happened. You must remember.
I do not.
You must.
Such a memory does not exist because such an event never happened. As you said, he who controls the past controls the future, and he who controls the present controls the past. And where does the past exist?
In records. It's written down.
We control all records. Where else?
In film, in newspapers, books, TV.
Big Brother creates all film, television.
In the human mind, the human memory.
We control all memory.
You don't control mine.
No, you do not control it. It takes a disciplined mind to see reality. Do you remember writing in your diary that freedom is the freedom to say 2 + 2 makes 4?
Yes.
How many fingers am I holding up, Winston?
4.
And if the government says that it is 5, then how many?
4.
How many fingers, Winston?
4.
How many fingers, Winston?
4! What else can I say?
That was 75. How many fingers, Winston?
I suppose there are 4.
90. How many fingers, Winston?
I don't know. 4, 5, 6. I don't know. You'll kill me if you do that again.
Better. Tell me, why do we bring people to the Ministry of Love?
To help them confess.
Try again.
To punish them.
To cure them. To help make them sane. We do not care about those stupid crimes committed. What we care about is the thought.
The thought. The crime.
In the old days, the heretic went to the stake, still a heretic, proclaiming his heresy, exulting in it. He died triumphant. So long as the heretic resists, we cannot kill him. So we convert him. Turn him into one of us. Not in appearance, but in heart and soul. We make the mind pure before we blow it up. And at the very end, all that is left is sorrow for what has been done, love for Big Brother, and the hope that we kill them quickly while their minds are still pure. I enjoy talking to you, Winston. You intrigue me. So before we bring this session to an end, do you have any questions you want to ask me?
What have you done with Julia?
I have done nothing to her. She is not my concern. You are.
Where is she?
Next question.
Where is she?
Next question.
Is Big Brother real?
Of course he is.
Is he real in the same way that I am real?
You are not real.
Is the book real?
Of course it is. I wrote it. You, well, collaborated in writing it.
The things it said.
The high are overthrown by the middle, who enlist the low, pretending like they are fighting for liberty and justice.
Goldstein, the Brotherhood.
The best way to control a revolution is to start it yourself.
You're monsters.
We are in the business of tearing human minds to pieces and putting them back together in the shape of our choosing. If Big Brother says 4 is 5, war is peace, or love is hate, it is.
Reality can't be built. Societies can't be built on treachery and lies and anger.
Why not?
Because someday we will
overpower you.
I see no evidence of that happening. Do you? And what is it that will overthrow us?
The human spirit.
The human spirit. And do you consider yourself human?
Yes.
And do you consider yourself morally superior to us with our cruelty?
Yes.
I am willing to cheat, yes? Murder, yes? Steal, forge, blackmail, yes? There you are! The guardian of the human spirit!
You made me into this. You drove me to this.
You drove yourself to this! There is no degradation you have not brought upon yourself.
I have not betrayed Julia.
Do you see 5 fingers?
Yes.
At least you see now that it is possible.
Kill me.
Not yet. Now the time has come for you to take the last step. The time has come for you to love Big Brother. Not obey him. Love him.
Kill me.
Not yet. Have you ever wondered, Winston, what is in room 101? Room 101 is the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the world varies from person to person. For some, it is death by burial, being burned alive, impalement. For some, it is actually quite trivial, not even lethal. For you, the worst thing in the world happens to be rats. Do you remember, Winston, writing in your diary, that moment of panic in your dream, there in the darkness? Her skin just leather and bone in your hand. And then, coming for you, those yellow eyes.
No, don't. Please, O'Brien, no. What else do you want?
Do you understand the construction of the cage? Before they can smell you.
Please, take it off.
Now they can see
Awful,
you.
do what you want. I'll tell you.
And when I
whatever
remove this
you want.
partition, have you ever seen a rat jump through
I've
the
been
air?
on it. Told you everything.
On your face,
I can't give
chew
you
through,
more.
bore through your cheek, and devour the tongue.
Take Julia! Take Julia! Not me, Julia. Do whatever you want with her. Not me.
Yes. So you see, you knew what to do all along. Big Brother has freed you from your delusion.
I betrayed her.
All you did was let go of the last of your delusions. Love was an illusion, Winston. As insubstantial as smoke, the Brotherhood, Goldstein, or the rising up of those people you so foolishly believed in.
Did Julia?
Oh, yes. I've never quite seen someone come over to our side that quickly. She betrayed you completely.
I feel empty.
As clean, clear glass. We will fill you up again.
Before you kill me.
I promise. How many fingers, Winston?
I love you.
No. Not me.
Attention, citizens! Wonderful news from the African front. In a vast strategic maneuver, the armies of Oceania have utterly routed the forces of East Asia. Over 1 million killed and 500,000 captured.
I love you.
The whole of Africa is now in our control. This triumph brings the war within immeasurable distance to its end. Big Brother has brought us the greatest victory in human history.
I love you. I love you. Love you. I love you, Big Brother.